Good evening and welcome to Linnell Gymnasium on the campus of Thorne Academy. I'm Zach Duranko here with Jeff Christianberry, Josh Pulsfer, and Jake Paulette. A little bit of a different crew today, and a little short crew. We are missing a few people, but we are set to go here for a quarterfinal matchup between the number 1 team in Class AA South, the Thorne Academy Golden Trojan.
Members, the Southwestern Maine Activities Association and abide by the sportsmanship policies to encourage you at all times to support your team in a positive sportsmanlike manner. Ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce tonight's starting lineups, we'd like to take a brief moment to recognize the efforts of a person who is behind the scenes but is very present in the Thorne Academy athletic program. I'd like to recognize senior tatv student Zach Duranko. Zach has been an integral part of tatv broadcast since his freshman year. Has been part of upwards of 50 live streams of boys basketball and broadcast here from the Linnell Gym. We want to thank him for his countless hours volunteering his time for TA Athletics and wish him best of luck in his future, which is a career in broadcasting. Congratulations and thank you to Zach Duranko. And as my starting lineup for the Massabesic Mustangs, starting at guard, 5'6" sophomore number 0.
All right, starting lineups coming up. Nice recognition for old Zach there. You know, like, you get a little pub. That's good. Very subtle. You know, it's not like we made it go down and get a rose or anything like that. But you know, we'll talk a lot about endings here tonight, as it's going to be a common theme for our broadcast between Zach and especially I. But you see the Massabesic lineup, and Cole, why don't you talk? Or, sorry, Cole, I'm totally not that. Zach, talk about the TA lineup here. No surprises really, but a team. You know, the question is how long are those seniors going to, or the starters going to play tonight? That's the question, really.
I would think a good amount. You know, Coach Davies understands that even in a matchup like this, where you've got a 15-3 team and an 0-18 team, you need to come out with some energy. It's about making a statement, especially early in the playoffs, to show people that you are not just going to go into games subtly. And so, going with a somewhat different lineup today, Alicio Marcus is going to start on the bench.
Yeah, I see that. You know, it's interesting. Coming into this year, I would have said he's going to be the guy that plays mostly inside. Is Cody Ruff leaving, graduating. He's definitely played a little bit more of a kind of a 6-man role, but he's such a great athlete.
Set to get going here from Linnell Gym. Again, I'm Zach Duranko here with Jeff Christianberry, Josh Pulsfer, and Jake Paulette coming back to help us out on camera tonight, as we are missing 2 of our regulars here on TATV. Unfortunately, Cole Purvis under the weather. Hopefully you feel better, Cole, and we will see you soon. And Troy Bolduck on camera, who is on vacation and is currently, I believe, on a plane flying to some probably very warm and very enjoyable destination.
He is, and I just want to mention too, some people mentioned in the comments, we're having some internet issues tonight. It just happens time to time, so we're working on it. So again, just if you have internet issues, just refresh as you go, and we'll try to get that back on as quick as possible.
The early tip, Will Davies comes up with the ball, and here goes Thorne Academy. Last 2 matchups, Thorne Academy dominated. An early pass from Davies to Trey Eldred. And Thorne Academy takes an early lead. Here's Davies, now to Eldred, back to Davies. Nay over to McElow. Nay taking the spot of Alicio Marcus. Eldred's 3's off the mark. Davies with his own rebound. Kamari drives the lane, and the layup is good. Good move there from Kamari for the early 4-0 lead for the Trojans.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a game where Thorne Academy, my keys, stay healthy, obviously. Make a statement here. Don't leave any doubt. Get this game to a 20-point lead at halftime. And set some good habits. That's what you want to do. If you want a deep playoff run to get to make 4 or 5 big wins, let's make sure that you're setting good habits even against a team that you're very highly favored against.
goes Massabesic now.
And if you're Massabesic, you want to slow this game down as much as possible, keep the possessions low, and you can't have cross-court passes like that.
Good steal from Kamari. Looking a low inside, got tipped and stolen away now from Massabesic. This is Kyle Abbott, a sophomore guard.
I think one of the things too is it's very easy if you're the big favorites to try to do a little bit too much. Try to throw some YOLO passes, and you want to not do that. Let's get some early motion, get some points.
Three-pointer from Noah Shaw's in and out, unlucky there for the Massabesic Mustangs. As TA comes right back the other way, Will Davies with a floater, his first basket, 6-0 Trojans.
Yeah, get everybody involved here today. I know that maybe some people watching from across the world. I know Demir's parents are going to try to zoom in over from Europe. So, but it's tough. It's tough too, Zach. It's like get to this point, you're Massabesic, you're winless. There's only so much you can do in practice and different habits, and just a down year for them. It's tough. They definitely look like a young team. Definitely huge size advantage for the Trojans as well. But we've seen bigger picture. Noble has been pretty poor for many years in Class AA, and this year they just had a revitalization. Now they didn't do so well the other day against Mount Eagle last night. Mount Eagle with a big victory, but Noble's on the way up, and you can see that. You put in the hard work, a lot can happen as TA jumps out again. That physical play is going to be trouble for the Mustangs.
8-0 Trojans. I want to also let you know that this is, to my knowledge, and at this point, our last broadcast here on TATV. There is possibly a preliminary game for the boys hockey team, a playoff matchup in a couple of weeks, but again, we don't know if we'll be able to do that or what time. So for the time being, it is our last broadcast for the winter sports season on TATV. As after this, the boys and girls basketball teams are headed to the Cross Insurance Arena. Good job by Thorne Academy to keep it inside.
Nice look.
Lots of great passing. And Eldred with his third bucket. He has 6 points, and the Trojans' lead is now 10.
It is, yes. So back for the spring season, of course, with boys and girls across. A lot of people ask every year about baseball, softball, and it's just an internet issue. Our Wi-Fi is not that strong out there, and it's just too much of a risk for a high-quality broadcast to have games out there. It's too bad because obviously our boys team was great last year and should be good this year. But our boys and girls across, we'll talk maybe a little bit about that later. I don't really know too much about them, to be honest. I haven't really looked at the rosters to look ahead, but certainly Coach Hersey will have the boys ready to play as they do every year. A couple first subs coming in for the Trojans now up 10-0, halfway through the first.
Marcus and Josh Valley in. The inbound pass was tipped out by Braden Kamari. As you may have heard, I do appreciate Gary Stevens with a little shout out.
It's the least we could do, let's just say that. This is Zach's not his last broadcast. He's got another season to go, but his last basketball game, and I know this is the sport that I believe you started with us. Well, I remember you talking to me your freshman year saying, hey, basketball is where I like, but I'll do anything, and that's great. But some of our best memories are in this gym. The Peyton Jones dunk comes to mind.
Yep.
That was one of your best calls ever, so it's a lot of great memories in this gym for both the players but also the broadcasters, and today it ends. But it's certainly not your last basketball broadcast. You'll be doing a lot at the next level, I'm sure.
I do hope so. This isn't just a last day for me, and it's a last day for Jeff Christianberry.
Yes, it is.
Jeff, unfortunately and sadly, is leaving Thornton Academy for the nice weather down in Florida. He will be doing have a communications job at a K through 12. Is it a semi-private school?
No, it's private school.
It's private school.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so this will be his last TATV broadcast ever. So we've got some things in store for you for things about Jeff and times at Thornton Academy and questions for Jeff and lots of things. So
I'm ready for anything, yes. It's as we'll talk about it. For three is no good. A good rebound there for Massabesic. Can't hit the layup. Yeah, so we try to count up how many basketball broadcasts you did. We estimated about 50 boys and girls over 4 years, taking 10 a year. I can't even count how many broadcasts I've done over the years. Probably, 30, average of 30 a year for 12 years. I can't do the math on that. It's a lot.
Let's say over 350.
Yeah, and I've done every job here, and it's kind of nice to be able to, as much as I would have loved Cole to be here and Troy to be here, it's kind of nice to have kind of an OG crew this year. We got Jake Paulette, and I just got a text from Ryan Hurst. He says, we will be good this year. So you heard it from the source, everybody. Boys across, state champions. He's just that's a guarantee, I think, in my book. Good pass into Alicio there at the and one. A couple of minutes of drought there for the Trojans. But yes, again, we'll talk about it more. But yeah, it's been a great run here at Thornton Academy. I'll make more of a little speech with some thank yous at halftime.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be my last broadcast. Next week, I'll be heading down to Southwest Florida. I'll be one of those guys that's on the broadcast every single broadcast you guys are on. I don't care what I'm doing. I'll be
comments.
commenting and be like, watching from Sarasota, Florida, where it's 74.
Although I will say at some point that won't be as sad.
No, it'll be nice if hit Sarasota's 96.
Yeah.
You know.
It won't, and it also won't be as sad for us here. This is a three-pointer.
Big three ball there, yep. And what I like so far, Zach, is everyone's getting involved here. You get 15-0, and this is exactly how it should be. Coach Davies still coaching really hard down there as we see the shot from Jake Paulette there. And they're already chanting for
Early,
Harry Lou.
we want Harry. So one of the things we're going to do for Jeff here
this is going to be interesting.
is we're going to go through some photos of Jeff's career. And the game is you have to tell us
what's happening,
maybe even when it happened.
I'll try to remember. It's been a long time here.
All right, here's photo number 1.
Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, so I don't know the exact year. So this is actually a cool memory. So this is up at Hebron Academy. No, Hebron, somewhere up in that area. This is for the Main Shrine Lobster Bowl Classic. One of the years, we used to partner a lot with Rob Munzing from Munzing Media, and he's one of my thank yous. He helped us early on in the streaming. He did made all the mistakes that we didn't have to. And we did a live broadcast once of the media day up there. As B.J. Robbins, who was a coach, I can't remember where, was Cora Schreiner. We went up there. We interviewed a bunch of guys. There's some TA guys playing that year. I don't remember what year this was. This must have been like 2013, 14. And then, obviously, Thornton Academy hosted the Lobster Bowl for a couple of years as well. I don't think that was this year. But, yeah, that was me up there talking about the Main Shrine Lobster Bowl Classic, which is really cool because a lot of these guys hadn't played football for like 7 or 8 months. Always a fun time. And for a lot of those guys, it was the last time ever playing football. So, if all the pictures are like that, this is going to be awesome. That was a fun memory, but I'm thinking they're not going to be.
Yeah, that was a good job explaining it. Yeah, you're definitely right. It's going to get harder to explain them.
Okay, I'll be ready for anything here.
15.
Deep three. Whoa! Hello, you hit that one from Waterboro.
15-0 turns to 15-3 as Noah Shaw is the first basket for the Mustangs. Thornton Academy looking to answer back now.
I mean, obviously, we're a little biased. We want a TA victory, but you know what? Massabesic get some buckets here. It's their last game of the year, probably. Demir, great job there on the inside with the offensive board.
Skitch with his first basket. Trojans out to a 14-point lead.
We saw quite the dunk array. This is going to be a foul on the floor. Dunk array during warm-ups here at Thornton Academy. So who do you think has the best dunk skills on the team? And don't be biased with your friends here, because I'll say the best dunker I saw, most consistent. I see Mac Lowe. I didn't see him make any spectacular ones, but I didn't see him miss any either.
I will say I have a lot of friends in this team. This is a quote from Eddie Maycover is, I learned how to dunk, or I finally got a dunk in my life 24 hours ago, and now I have hops. Is what he said.
Okay,
pre-game.
That's talking a lot of game there.
He did get a couple of dunks in pregame. I'd say best dunker is Alicio Marcus. I think it's very tough because when in game when he drives the basket, he's usually fouled, and it's hard to call fouls like that. But when he has some space or a fast break, he does a great job.
Oh, good hustle there from behind. And I think honestly the key for this team is going to be Mac Lowe, because he missed some of the early in the season, and they're going to need bodies for this deep playoff run, 100%. They're going to need guys to come in and be physical and maybe give a few fouls there against some of the bigger teams in Class AA South. So I think him being back healthy is a huge asset for this team. He's just a hustler. Look, good steal there, right on cue. On cue. I think he had the microphone, he had the earbud in there during the game.
Spin by Davies, and now here's Kamari switching it over to Josh Ney. Ney getting some good time here today.
I want to give congratulations. I don't know if you saw the list of McDonald's All-American.
I did.
Do you know off the top of your head who made it for the boys?
Yes, Will Davies and Brady Kamari made it for the McDonald's All-Stars for the senior class. And for the girls team, I know it's also Hannah Cook and Jessica Dow.
Nice.
So 2 players from the boys team and 2 players from the girls team.
Did I say Coach Marston will coach one?
Yes, he is coaching the team.
Okay,
yeah,
I saw that right.
So 3 Thornton Academy personnel.
And that takes place up in Bangor after the season.
Yes. That three's off the mark, high off the glass. Massabesic finds a rebound.
Oh, there we go.
Blocked heavy by Mac Lowe.
Combination block there. I'll give half the block. If you could give half blocks to Will Davies on there, just kind of moving him off as we see the senior number 10. It's been a great long journey for Will Davies. Really the second year that he's been in command of this offense. No word yet on what he's doing next year, but boy, whoever gets him, whatever division he goes to, that's going to be a lucky program.
Out of bounds, Massabesic ball. Well, I have a second. We did ask some of our tatv members to write a little quote or paragraph about Jeff and about Jeff leaving. And so I want to read what Cole and Troy put down at this moment. Oh, we even have some graphics for it.
Oh.
So you know what? Maybe we'll wait
The
till
next whistle?
We'll wait till a whistle.
There we go. Whistle
And
right
there's
here.
the whistle.
30-second timeout.
With Coles.
19-3 Thornton Academy here, first quarter.
Yeah, we'll go with Coles first. As what Cole says is, as someone who has wanted to become a sports broadcaster for a long time, Mr. Christian Berry has been such a huge help for me and has put in so much time and effort for Zach, Troy, and I to do what we love and improve so much. He's also a great person, and I've gotten to know him very well. So I will miss being around him. Thank you, and good luck, Mr. C.
Well, I appreciate that, Cole. Even though some of his basketball takes, being a Warriors fan somehow in Saco, Maine, I'm not sure about. He also thinks that like football's never been better and that the NCAA is better than the NBA. Beyond those takes, Cole's been great to be around. You know, again, somebody who actually in 8th grade did some stuff for us. Not broadcast, but he did some interviews with Coach Kiesel. Didn't know if you wanted to do play-by-play, and then actually, Zach, I think you're one of the inspirations. He saw how you were doing, and at the sophomore year.
He's with the nice drive and finish. His second basket, he has 4 points.
Just a perfect first quarter, if you ask me, for the Trojans here. Coming out, you know, running your offense. You got a nice pressure zone. A lot of guys getting involved. Up by 18. You know, again, you want to get this game to 25, 30 points at halftime, and really, you know, you have some JV guys who are coming up as well. For this game, so maybe they'll get some burn. So Sam Nelson on the bench, or Zach Nelson.
Davies steals it, tried to throw it off a Massabesic player. This was stolen by Kamari. He gives it off to Macalo. Macalo drives in, and Lowe gets his first basket. It's now 23-3 as the clock winds down. Because we have so much to talk about today, as it is our last broadcast for the winter sports season. It is my last broadcast for the winter sports season, most likely. I mean, again, the only exception is if we do that hockey game. But my last basketball broadcast, and it's just Jeff's last broadcast of all time.
Ever. Well, no, I will be back for the alumni broadcast.
Okay, yes.
Believe that. Believe that. That was way too much fun. I want to be on the other end. I want to see Mr. Pulsifer do all the hard work and me just get to show up. And big three there from Kamari. Me got fouled on that too, but
my my point was that we will be staying on for a long section of halftime and in between periods as well. So right now, we're gonna go to what
this is awesome.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of talking. We're gonna go to what Troy had to say about Jeff Christianberry. So Troy said, "Mr. C is one of my favorite teachers I have ever had. I'm very grateful for his major contributions to TATV and giving kids like me an opportunity to get involved in sports broadcasting right here at TA. TATV won't be the same without him. Thanks, Mr. C."
Well, that's, again, very nice from Troy. Again, I'm going to tell a little story about everybody and everything I see. So Troy, I had him in class as this freshman year. I think it's for sports journalism or movie making when I was still teaching. Obviously very interested in helping out, and it's been awesome on camera. Just, you know, he came dressed up. You know, he was one of the more dressed up guys, I would say, beyond you. You won the dress up contest a few weeks ago when you did a dress up. But Troy had some awesome style there, and he just shows up on time. And what I'll say as an adult moment here is the kids that we have here at TATV, like, and a lot of parents and other people who work with children, these guys show up. When they say they're going to show up, they show up. They show up on time. They're not late. They're respectful. They don't, you know, blow it off at the last minute. And guys like Troy, you know, is not on the camera very much, and maybe next year he will be. But those are the kind of guys that allow us, Mr. Pulsifer, Josh Pulsifer, and I, to do the sideline cameras, the replay, all that stuff that in the early years we just couldn't do because while we had some great kids like Cal Cristoforo, it needs 3 or 4 really good, solid contributors to our broadcast, and us 5 this year have been grateful. And it's great to have Jake Paulette here tonight, filling in, obviously. But yeah, Troy, great job, and he's got a great future as well. And enjoy Florida. I think he's going to Florida for vacation.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I'll see him down there next week.
Troy obviously is one of our favorites here on TATV. He also, unfortunately, this breaks his Ironman streak.
Oh, yeah.
But he had, I can't give you an exact number because I haven't counted, but he made every game, I think this entire winter sports season.
More than I did.
And going back into the fall. He must have done like 30 games in a row before obviously missing this one for vacation.
He's basically the Kyle Ripken of TATV.
Yes, I mean, he never missed a broadcast, never had a job. I mean, obviously we all have our personal commitments and other things that happen as Marcus goes up there for the basket looking for the three-point play. But he has just been such a great contributor. And again, Troy will be back next year as well and in the spring with us on TATV.
I guess a vacation to Florida is a good excuse to.
Yeah, it definitely is. Later in this game, Josh and I will have our little speeches or things to say about Jeff. So you'll hear some of Mr. Pulsifer later in this game. But I've got a question for you.
Okay.
I thought I'd ask you some questions because, these are things that you might hear on Trojan Talk and if we have some episodes before Jeff leaves for Florida, but things that, I can ask you now. So I'm going to ask you.
Go for it.
What is your favorite TATV moment? It could be on air, off air, something that we did, something we didn't do, funny, not funny, serious.
Ooh, I should have prepared for these. Those are 2 by Massabesic, by the way. We'll cut in and out of the game here. It's 29-5. My favorite TATV moment. Honestly, it was not a live stream moment, but my favorite game to be a part of was 2012 state championship, Class A South, Class A West at that point, final football versus Cheverus. I was doing a documentary at that time. Here comes a dunk by Licio. Oh, well, he didn't do that in warm-ups, but 2012. We did, we had a multi-crew. We had Jim Toomey and Tyler Cataract helping out with that game, doing the broadcast. I was down on the field level. Best game I've ever been a part of. As much as the state championship game that year was cool. That broadcast that we did, it wasn't live, obviously. It was to tape because it was at Cheverus. Got so many views, and it was just one of those moments that I'll never forget. So that was my favorite TATV moment. Everyone came together. That whole day was just a blur in a great way.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
And honestly, I would say for our crew, I would think probably this year when we did the powder. The powder was fun this year because it was just a cloud of powder.
Yep.
We were kind of all over the place trying to figure it out. Cole and I grabbed the broadcast for a little while. That was just a really fun night. I know a lot of people out there hate the powder, and I totally understand why. But I'm a fan. But 29-5, Thornton Academy. Again, defensively, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. They're high-pressure defense. And again, Coach Davies been around long enough. He's not going to let these guys get a little bit lazy, as we'll see Massabesic go to the line here.
We got some time. It's 29-5, Thornton Academy leading by 24. And we look at this. We got a photo.
Wow.
Troy Bolduck is, how many feet up did he say?
40,000.
40,000 feet up, and he's watching us.
Good Wi-Fi. It looks like a JetBlue flight. Yep, that's JetBlue. Yep.
Yeah. That means that there's never an excuse to say, I couldn't watch your broadcast, guys. That means you have to watch it. If Troy can watch it at 40,000 feet in the air, you can watch it with whatever you have or wherever you are. That's how easy YouTube and Facebook are, guys.
And I say, he's not the first person to ever do it from a plane because someone commented early this year, but
yep.
I love the dedication. Absolutely love it.
I think he beat them in feet, but still.
Yeah, those other guys said 35,000. That's amateur stuff.
Davies with the basket there. It's now 31-5. Here's another question for you, Jeff. What is your favorite Trojan Talk moment? Now, I know this is a little bit shorter than your TATV career because we've been doing Trojan Talk for really only 2.5 years. What's your favorite Trojan Talk moment?
I mean, certainly the one that I wasn't there for was when you predicted the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. Just that look on Cole's face of utter. Mr. Pulsifer was disgust. Cole's was just like utter like what? No, but I would say probably one of the interviews I did. We've had some really cool interviews over the years, and getting to talk. I don't really have one specifically, but when you get to talk to, especially some of the sports that don't get a lot of love, we've had some track players on, some tennis players too. Getting some publicity. We've had some of our most interesting interviews have been some of those players. So, getting some of those athletes into our podcasting booth. Which again, if you're a TA student or you have a TA student, we have a podcasting room. If they're interested in getting involved, they can contact Josh Pulsifer or even Zach here. We got a great podcasting room, so that's been really fun to start almost from nothing and then adding video. But yeah, Trojan Talk has been a lot of fun. I've been right almost every time that I predicted anything too, right? I mean,
what? No,
not even close.
Don't generalize
not
there.
Not even close.
Maybe a couple of things.
I was winless a few times, me and Cole, but
yeah, we were doing like a predictions kind of thing, and
yeah.
Jeff,
I like talking a little soccer. It's kind of fun because you don't get to talk about that much.
You and I have a love that for the Premier League that Josh and Cole just
us and 500 million people around the world.
Yeah, it happens to be the biggest sport ever, but
yeah. A couple of free throws there from Massabesic. 31-7, 5 minutes to go, first half. Good sized crowd on hand, especially in the student section. Again, this last game at Linnell. I do like that one thing as the bucket goes up. That's going to be no good. Is they used to not do this first round in the playoffs. They used to go right to the Expo. Now I loved playing games of the watching games of the Expo. But having a home playoff game is pretty cool. I'm not sure I love the fact that everyone makes the playoffs. I don't like that in really any sport. But if you have to have a playoff home game, that's just kind of cool to have one last dance.
Yeah. Again, Thornton Academy will play Bonnie, if they win this game,
Yep.
we'll play Bonnie Eagle on Thursday the 23rd at 8:45 at the Cross Insurance Arena.
That's going to be a fascinating matchup. I mean, obviously,
Yes.
the teams were split their series this year. I only saw the second half of that Bonnie Eagle second game. That Bonnie Eagle came out victor. I thought TA left some points out there in the second half, and I'd definitely give Thornton Academy the nod. But with Elliot Bouchard,
Yes.
the guy in the middle, I mean, TA doesn't have someone who can match up on him the whole game. I don't think so. We'll have to see what happens. And whenever you get John Troll against Coach Davies, it's always going to be a fun matchup.
That'll be the 1 versus 4 matchup. In the 2 versus 6 matchup, as Scarborough beat Gorham, it'll be South Portland and Scarborough. That'll be also on Thursday the 23rd at 7 p.m., so the game before TA's game, again, if they win. But right now up 34-10.
I'm loving this. I love these deep threes. This kid's he's just chucking it up from the equivalent of the Trojan head. That's the second one he's got, 34-13, Massabesic.
Shaw doing a great job right now, keeping.
That's one way to shoot it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the younger mentality. It's if the defense is too tight on you, just back up. And it's a good job there for Will using his height. Obviously didn't get the bucket, but when you have the size advantage, don't settle for jump shots. Pound the rock inside.
Can never forget our sponsors here. As there's a block by Josh Valley, then Davies gives it to him.
Oh! Drop the hammer.
As Cole would
That's
say.
Cole Purvises,
Yeah.
yeah. Since Cole's not here, I'd say drop the hammer. He's lining that up.
Two steps in the dunk for Josh Valley.
Very nice. Best dunk we ever saw, Peyton Jones, of course. It's a couple of years we used to have, I'm going to give a quick shout out to my boy Sean Mayo. When I was a high school student here, way back when, and I think Brian Daly is also watching. He was part of that team from the class of 03. Sean Mayo was about 6'6" center, played pretty much his whole career. And, he's good for a dunk a game. Not so much a highlight reel dunk, but you get the ball down low and just throw it down. And the first time you do that at a game, especially when you're playing Biddeford, boy, that gets you up out of your seat. So shout out to Sean Mayo. Great player in Trojans history. Best number 52 I ever saw. I think Corey Martin wore 52 too, but shout out to Sean Mayo, Brian Daly, Jason Dupuy, Tom Dana, like all those guys from the 03 team. Didn't win a state championship, but boy, he had a lot of heart. That was fun to watch. Runners up and no good.
Thorn leads 36-13 right now. Looking inside, Trey Eldred gets it.
Good ball.
Gets it off to Josh Nay. He goes up, foul, and looking for the end.
You're really seeing the best of Will Davies here with this passing today, finding the lanes, and it's a beauty to see.
We cannot go any further without thanking our sponsors here on TATV. Paquin and Carroll Insurance, Saco and Biddeford Savings, the Webb Family Law Firm, and Top It Mobile Ice Cream Cart. Top It hosts our halftime show and report, and the Webb Family Law Firm hosts our pregame and postgame show.
And, of course, if you're interested in sponsoring just a season, you don't have to sponsor the whole year. There's really good pricing on just seasons, so contact Josh Pulsiver or even Zach, and we'll get you to the right person. You can get commercials. You can get sponsorships for certain, just if you have a logo. We can do a quick read like that if you're interested in supporting a local program, or even just interested in making a donation. If you're want to throw 10, 15, 20 bucks because you enjoy watching our live streams, we'll definitely accept donations as well. And all of it will go to the Thornton Academy Annual Fund or right to the TATV program. So we appreciate all the support of your viewing. Again, spring sports season coming up, but we'll be a solid month before we have another broadcast.
Yes.
Probably more than that.
Again, it is right now up in the air. We're not really sure what's going to happen, but the boys hockey team may have a preliminary game that we will be able to do on TATV. It'll be a playoff game. Should be in the next week or two, and we will update you on the TA social media pages. You can also follow me on Twitter for updates at Zach, Z-A-C-H _Taranko, T-A-R-A-N-K-O. I have lots of updates and scores and highlights of TA Sports. We're back to our photo game with Jeff here.
All right.
Drum roll
do we
for
got?
photo number 2.
This day, as I mentioned before, this is 2012 State Championship Day. As you can see, I'm holding the camera in my hand. I did a documentary called Varsity, and that's Mr. Pulsiver on the right-hand side. Look at those two young guys over there. We were probably, it was 9 years ago. I'm not going to say our age. We were very young. Yeah, after we won a state championship, that was my most favorite day of being a member of the Thornton Academy community. I wasn't on the team at all. I wasn't a coach, but boy, the way that everyone, when we came back from that game, the amount of fans that were standing waiting for us when we were on not the duck boats, but something similar to duck boats, just unbelievable day. Documentary came out great. It's a 9-part documentary. You can find it right on our Thornton Academy YouTube page. Go back. Very much like Hard Knocks. If you've ever seen something like that, it took me months and months to edit. I'm not taking full credit for that, but we hadn't won a state championship in 25 years. I choose to do a documentary, and we won a state championship that year. So just a really fun day, and you saw that with Mr. P again. A couple of young guys, and who knew we were going to end up 12 years later, 9 years later, or whatever it's been, 11 years, sorry. So very fun day there. That's our old camera, too. Those cameras were super HD, but super expensive. But nowadays, they're much more reasonable. So very fun day there. 2012 state champions, the OG state champions of this millennia here for Thornton Academy. And it's been 4 since then.
You guys, I say this in the most respectful way possible, you guys look a lot different than you did back then. Not that I'm saying you guys are old.
I'm personally better looking, I think, but I can't speak for everybody in that picture.
Yeah. Not saying you guys are old, but just those were
we're older.
That was a young Josh Pulsifer and a young Jeff
Yeah,
Christian.
it was our second year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 1:55 to go, first half, 39-13, Thornton Academy. Again, most of the starters that played, they really had the 7-man rotation or so that we're probably going to see in the playoffs. I think in the second half we'll see a lot more. And I do want to give a shout out quick to Brady Kiesel as well. He's been on the bench pretty much every game this year. He got hurt earlier in the season. He'll miss the rest of it, but he's been part of the team the whole way through, I should say. Good rebound there. Massabesic puts it up and in.
41-15.
Much better quarter here for Massabesic.
Yes.
Scoring-wise.
41-15 in the first half. Yeah, I was thinking about a Trojan headshot. Eldred fouled.
A block there.
And here we go. We're going to go photo number 3 now, as we got a lot of these to do. Here we go. And send it.
Oh my God.
Wow. That is a photo.
Right.
I'm
out.
I got to take a photo of this. Hold on.
The game's back on. Okay, so thankfully Mr. P's in this too. I'm very happy that Mr. P didn't cut himself out of this. This was before, must have been Winter Carnival. God, this was like 2013. Mr. P and I, in our kind of younger broker days, we used to chaperone all the dances. And, yeah, so we had all these props. We did a photo booth, which was a great way to do the chaperoning. And we dressed up as a pirate and had no idea that people were so ruthless at the school and would keep that photo. We posted it somewhere like privately.
Wow.
And, boy, it's made the rounds. And shout out to Craig Agresti if he's watching, because I'm sure if he didn't have it before, he's got it now, screenshot of his screen. So, yes, that was the best pirate I think we've ever been. So, yeah, that was we have a lot more pictures that day. I think, Karen Ford was in that, Lauren Sonnenborn, even Kevin Kiesel's in one of those. Maybe not dressed as pirates, but they're there. And some of our old, so that was not my most flattering moment. But, we had a good time there at some of those old TA dances right here in the Linnell Gymnasium.
Oh, this.
30 seconds to go. 31-point lead by Thornton Academy.
That was something special. If that was picture number 3, I cannot wait till we get to 10. Oh my goodness.
I think we're losing viewers by the moment here.
Know.
You're like, what are we looking at here?
Eldred knocked down that 3 to make it 46-15, and this time he lays one in. It's now 48-15 as time is slowly winding down here. Under 10 seconds. Massabesic, 5 seconds. And Shaw throws one up. No good off the backboard. So we're actually going to keep it here.
Why not?
On tatv.
Why
we
not?
got lots to talk about.
48-15 Thornton Academy at a halftime of the Class AA South quarterfinals, and now let the hilarity begin. Apologize to everybody who was bored by just the tribute to me, but, it is what it is.
Again, we want to mention that we have a smaller crew today, but a good crew. I'm Zach Durenko here with Jeff Cushionberry, Josh Pulsifer, and Jake Paulette helping us out on camera. Not wearing his Vegas Golden Knights jersey, which makes me happy because, I hate to see that jersey. I just hate it so
Beautiful
much.
jersey, I got to say.
It is a beautiful jersey, but still, I don't know if I like it. All right, we're going to picture number 4. Then we got a couple of questions for Jeff, and then we have some speeches and some stuff that we're going to have to go through.
All right, and at the end of halftime, I'll give my speech.
Oh, we have a video. Excuse me.
Oh, boy.
Wow, we're stepping it up here.
All right, we'll see.
I think I've seen this video.
Okay. Oh. So this is Stan Ruff, my man Stan Ruff. We were live on the air, but we didn't have a camera down on the sideline. So Stan didn't know we were on the air because there's nothing around us. So he starts talking to myself and Tyler Catterat, who was on the news at that time. And as you can see, we didn't know what to say. Look, that's not the first time that it happened. I think it was the second time that happened. Mike Lowe from the Porpoise Herald also happened to. I don't blame them because there's nothing around us. And we're looking up at the camera, which is up here in our broadcast booth. And so Stan come up and start talking, and we didn't have the heart to tell him in the middle that, hey, we're live on the air right now. Thankfully, Stan didn't say anything inappropriate at all. Something like, hey, I think I saw you on the news the other night. Tyler played it really cool. I love Tyler. So that was one of those moments. This is live TV, and you just roll with it. You
Yep.
just roll with it. So one of the funnier moments. That's one of the things I miss about this year without Cody being here. Stan Ruff was just a legend here in this gym, and I'm sure he'll be back in future years. But some of the things he would yell out, just amazing. If he ever does come back, I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone, but open invitation if he wants to be mic'd up or something, or come on at
100%.
halftime or something.
Yeah, some of you may remember his son Cody Ruff played for the basketball team for many years and was a big part of last year's
He had
team.
3, Demel Ruff and Greg Ruff. He had
Yes.
3 sons come through his program, but Cody distinguished himself on the basketball court and the football field.
So everyone really knows Stan Ruff. Before we get to the next clip, I have a question here for Jeff Christianberry.
Okay.
Jeff, in your opinion, what is the best game that you and I have ever broadcasted together? As in, it could be most exciting.
I would say last year's boys lacrosse game against Cape, where Thornton Academy looked. First of all, again, and I know Coach Hurst is listening. It was a choke job by Cape more than it was. It was a great comeback by TA, more of a choke job by Cape. They had the ball with like 30 seconds left and just had to hold it. Idiotically, they shoot it with like 5 seconds left. TA gets the ball, comes down, scores dramatic fashion, and then they win in overtime. Again, incredibly exciting game to broadcast. All shout out to Thornton Academy for taking advantage of some Cape Elizabeth questionable. I believe it was Cape, right? It wasn't Falmouth, was it? It was here. It was Cape.
It was Cape Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the game. That was just so exciting, and I don't think I was on the call. I think it was on the. I think it was you and Cole on the call.
Yes.
But boy, that was super exciting, and we've had some great ones though in the past. One of the games that before that was I've been some hockey games that were really good, like some old overtime games and some football. Some pretty exciting games, but not that we broadcasted. I've mostly been on the sidelines for those football games. So,
all right, we're going to clip. This is a clip now, but this is the photo clip number 5.
Is there sound on this or?
There.
Okay. I'll talk to it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So this is the okay. Let me set this up before you say it. So this is 2012.
I like how he knows the clip.
For
He could just see this.
Yeah, I could see the
small
sliver.
thing
So
and he knows what
2011.
it is.
So this is the state championship, the first state championship the boys hockey team won, overtime against Lewiston. I had gone earlier in this day, this was on a Saturday, down to Boston because my Boston University Terriers were in the conference championship of the America East. So I went to that game. BU wins at basically the buzzer. We stormed the court. I have to drive all the way to Lewiston at that point to call this game solo, by the way, and I didn't know hockey that well. It went to overtime, and at the end of the game, as you can start playing it, you won't be able to hear it, but if you want to go back on YouTube, you can find this one of our most popular clips ever on YouTube. Oh, you can hear it? All right, so here's the clip of my voice crack when we score the game-winning goal.
Many times. Oh, here we go.
So, yeah, there's the audio as Thornton Academy wins. You didn't hear the audio. Again, you can go back on YouTube and find it, but I basically said, right shot deflected in Thornton Academy, and then I just yell for about 30 seconds straight.
It is definitely worth it.
Amazing moment here for Thornton Academy at the end of a long day. They ended up winning a state championship the next year where they were just a wagon that next year. Unbeatable. That was just a great – that was basically a sold-out Lewiston or whatever it was, the Colisee, Industry Bank Colisee up there in Lewiston, and just a great night. Thornton Academy, the first of 2 back-to-back state championships in boys hockey.
It's a great moment. Now, as I believe he wanted to come on at halftime, I'm going to let Josh Pulsifer take over the mic and talk to us. I mean, do you want to go on the crowd mic? You want to take my mic? What do you want to do to take my mic? All right, here we go.
Here we go. 48-15, Thornton Academy over Massabesic here, halftime.
Jeff, how many pictures do you want to go through here? I mean, we could do another one.
I mean,
here
yeah,
together.
you probably, let's go through as many as you can. In the
we
second
go
half,
through
we
as
can try
many.
to get back to the game a little bit, even
Absolutely.
though it's,
All right, see if you can do this one
All right.
here.
Oh, okay, so this was one of the many 5 ring ceremonies that we had as members of the Thornton Academy football program. Do you know which one this was? Do you have a year on it?
Ooh,
This looks
I want to say this was
pretty early.
after the 15.
You know how I know? Because
14 or
Mr.
15?
Morrison in the upper right-hand corner looks pretty
doesn't have a
young.
beard. He doesn't
pretty
have a
young in
beard.
that one. So I'm going to say that's – oh, yeah, that's our 3rd ring because I'm wearing 2 other
Yeah,
ones.
so I think it's after 15.
After
yeah.
2015, his 2nd state championship in a row. Look, I can't say enough about this group right here. All these guys. So not only do you have all the football coaches, but you have Bob Egan, Paul Remus, who are integral parts. You got Nick Tabor, Greg Parody, Coach Kevin Kiesel, of course, Leon Hattieris, Kirk Agresti, Brian Morrison, in the front, Tony Giordano, myself, and Josh. These guys we're part of a dynasty. And look, the kids deserve all the credit for getting out there and playing, but these guys, these coaches, and not just here at Thorne Academy, everywhere, they put in so much time and effort. If you calculate how much hours they put into every season, it's pennies per hour. And it's great that especially some of the older guys like Coach Kiesel and Craig, these guys coached for many, many years without a state championship, and finally in 2012, breakthrough. And since then, it's been 5 years, 5 championships in the last 9 years, just absolutely unbelievable. They basically let us do what we wanted for live streaming. Rob Munzing did our broadcast for a couple years, and then we kind of took over 3 or 4 years ago. Coach Keys has always been very appreciative of our efforts, and you see that's another one there. 5 rings is just insane. We're all getting a little bit older in these pictures. Some get skinnier, then they get fatter again, or back and forth, but this is how it is. And I want to shout out Jack Morrison as well, right there, coach next to Coach Kiesel. Legendary freshman coach, plus 40-plus years as a freshman coach. Also helps out with varsity. So it's one of those things. This program is still a dynasty. I still count it. Almost every year we're in the state championship or close to it. I expect them to be back next year, and I won't be part of the program, but I'll definitely be coming back to visit for a game and watch all the live streams.
You think you're going to be
there.
welcome back? I mean, that's the thing.
I'm just going to show up. I better not pay to get in any TA sporting event ever again. I'm just going to. Yes. I'll just bring a camera, and that's how you get in. But yeah, these are all our state championship victories. I got those.
This next one here. This one always makes me laugh. This one always brings a little chuckle. See if you remember this.
Oh gosh, this is after the second state championship. So this is 2014, and we had a little after party at the Elks.
I just like the Elk. I mean,
the Elk.
Yeah, the Elk.
We are secondary, and the trophy's secondary.
Yes,
but yeah, the Elks Club, because we had it the first time at the Elks Club, the second time we had to follow tradition. So appreciate that. That we used to use that as our kind of our meeting hall after the game. So I don't know if it's an actual elk or some kind of other game animal. I'm not a big fan of that, or I'm not knowledgeable with that, but. A lot of state championships. And look, we've had them in a lot of sports. I'm looking at the wall here. Just since I've been here, just Josh and I have been here since 2011, the amount of state championships, football, baseball, basketball, well, not basketball, ice hockey, I mean, certainly track and tennis. Baseball last year. That was one of the cool games, too. So lots of great memories. It's going to be really odd watching from afar, both the live streams and just following the games online. But I'm looking forward to being more of a fan than anything else.
Yeah, and, I just want to take a second here. I know I'll just interrupt the broadcast here for a second, but certainly, just want to thank you both, obviously professionally as a good colleague. Believe we got hired on the exact same day.
We did.
In 2010.
We did.
And
they didn't know what they were getting.
No, they didn't
in a good
know
way and a bad way.
They didn't know it was a package deal.
No,
like this,
they didn't know what was about to happen.
And certainly just want to thank you obviously for not only being a good colleague but a great friend, one of my best friends. And we're certainly happy for you with your new job and new horizons. I don't want to say jealous, but but certainly jealous. But certainly we wish you the best. We know you're going to do great down in Florida, and certainly we'd always love you to have an alumni broadcast again. We were already talking about that with the guys during the last one we did in January, so we'll definitely have to have now like a staff alumni as well broadcast, and certainly always part of the tatv family. And we know you'll be watching and probably critiquing us, maybe viciously on the comments on our videos in the spring.
If anything goes wrong, don't call me.
We will. You're on retainer. We determined you were on permanent retainer.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the words, and there's some people I want to thank too. I mentioned some of the coaches, all the coaches that have helped us over the years. But especially with TATB, I want to thank Paul Remis, Jeff Scott. Early in our time here, Jeff Scott helped us out with everything, camera. He helped us with DVDs, with tapes. So I want to give a shout out to Jeff Scott. We wouldn't be here without Jim Toomey, and I got a nice note from Jim today. Jim Toomey, longtime voice of the Trojans, was here before I was. Always willing to do any game, always willing to help out students, and always like, hey, look, if you have students up and coming, I'll take a step back. These last couple of years with COVID and everything else, he's taken a step back because we've had guys like Cal Cristoforo, Zach Taranko, Cole Purvis, these guys come up. But Jim, if he's watching, sure to get him this just huge voice of the Trojan. And again, I hope he comes back and helps out next year. But guys like that make this school what it is. A lot of guys, he never asked for any money, never asked for anything, just showed up, was unbelievably professional, was a teacher at heart, and was really a big reason why we're here. I want to give a thanks to Rainey Menard, the headmaster at Thornton Academy. They've kind of, the school and the board of trustees, they've let us do pretty much whatever we want here with live streaming, and we made the choice several years ago to make live streaming a priority. As a 3-ball there for Massabesic, they get to 48-18. We're glad to bring these broadcasts all over the world, and I know people will be watching from Mexico and Brazil and Europe, of course, because we've had some players from there, and the school has supported us, so I want to thank them as well. And, of course, guys like Cal Cristoforo, Jack Webb, Tyler Catterat, guys who have helped out over the years. Jake Paulette, definitely. Yeah, that's it for the tributes for tonight. Well, I'm sure I'll think of some more as I go along here. I want to give you some of the game again as Thornton Academy leads by 30 here, but yeah, this is it's a surreal moment, but I'm glad that Thornton Academy looks like they're going to get a win in my last game.
Yeah, which will be nice.
Looks like the starting 5 out there to start, or pretty close to it.
Yeah, haven't really seen a lot of the subs yet for TA. I think Coach Davies just wants to make sure they have a solid lead here.
Well, they don't play for a week, too. That's another thing, and I guess the girls basketball team, who obviously doesn't have a quarterfinal matchup because they're the number 1 seed and they got a bye, played a scrimmage today.
Yes, they went and scrimmaged Gray New Gloucester at Wyndham. It was at the Wyndham gym.
So we both, as a ball is up, no good. So we both think, obviously, that both these boys and girls teams are going to make a deep run. Which one do you think has the, I don't want to say the easier path, which one do you think has the path of least resistance to a state championship game, at least? Looking at the teams around them.
It's clearly the girls' team. Mm-hmm. The boys' team, I mean, Bonnie Eagle is going to be, I think, a little bit easier than that last game. They were missing one of their best defensive players, and they're going into arena where I feel a lot of these Thornton players are more comfortable than the Bonnie Eagle players. I think, but then you look at I mean, it'll still be a good game. But then you look at that what will most likely be TA versus South Portland in the regional final. That's going to be a shootout. Thornton Academy lost to South Portland last year in the regional final. It's going to be a tough matchup. When you look at the girls' team, they're playing Scarborough, which they dominated both times they played them in the regular season, so they played them in the semifinals. And the regional final will most likely be against a team like Gorham or Sanford, both teams who they dominated throughout the year. So TA really, the girls' team really went through the South, didn't lose a game to a Class AA South team all year. I think that they'll have the easiest path to a state championship game. But when it comes to states, I think both teams are going to have a tough time against those North teams that are.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, certainly no one take anybody for granted in the South. You play Bonnie Eagle and probably South Portland, the boys do. But that, whoa, showtime! Great pass there by Will Davies. But yeah, I agree. I think the biggest challenge for both teams will be in the North, that state championship game. And look, I think I predicted both teams to win the states, and I'm sticking with it at this point. It's going to go out of play there. Good try by Will. I'm thinking you're going to start seeing a little bit more subs here as a 51-18 third quarter.
Should be good playoff matchups, though. And
just to recap, so our playoff situation, obviously we can't broadcast games in the playoffs for boys or girls basketball. That's whou.live. And we will try to do something, at least for the girls game. We may do like a live Trojan Talk before the girls game from Radio Row, as I like to call it, the place right next to the court. At least Zach and I, maybe Cole as well. So check that out. It'll be on our Facebook page. Might just do it from our phone, but keep it super simple depending on that. Maybe talk for about 10 minutes, so you can check that out before the girls' game. It's slated at 8:45. But that totally depends on the other games, so it might be a little bit later than that. And I would definitely want to give a shout-out to Zach and Cole, who are both going to be on broadcast during the week for WHOU as well. No TA games, but I think, Zach, you're going to have a pretty exciting one. You may have the AA North final?
I'll have
semifinal?
Semifinal. So I'll have both of the girls AA North semifinals, which one of them right now has been set. It's Oxford Hills versus Hampton Academy. That'll be a good game.
Nice.
And then other one is probably, if everything goes to plan, will be Cheverus versus Bangor, the 2 versus 3 matchup. That's going to be a huge matchup between those two teams.
Yeah, so check out WHOU. Again, if you get a subscription to WHOU, I think it's $10. You get all the games. So I'm going to do it super early so I can watch all the games from my house.
We got another photo here with a timeout.
All right,
and let's go. You should know this one. I know this one because I'm there.
There we go. So this was last year at the Cross Insurance Arena. This is WHOU broadcast. Zach and I were doing, I don't know which game we were doing. We did, 4 games maybe last year?
Yeah, we did a couple of girls South games. We did one of TA's games.
We did.
And then we did some boys North games as
well.
Yeah,
I'm going to give a shout out to Rob Kennedy, who is the one who organizes. He lives up in the Halldale area. I don't know if that's actually a city, but that's the school he teaches at.
Yep. Does
the Dartmouth hockey games. He hooked us up with WHOU. Zach got some great experience last year. And again, this year I kind of passed the baton on to Zach and Cole. Again, it's whou.live. They do a great job. You can check out all the games, again, for $10 for the whole tournament. But Zach got us some experience. It's kind of weird looking at us in masks back then. It was only a year ago, but...
And shout out to Isaac Lucan in the
Isaac, yeah,
in the background with
Isaac
with
helps.
production.
Yep, he's helped us out for some productions as well. So shout out to Isaac again. Another big thank you to all the people I'm forgetting as well, who over the years, maybe for time here or there, has helped us out with some of our camera. Jackson Farwell's helped us out this year. Yep. So we've had some dorm students help in the past. So it's very cool. So it takes a village to do something like this. And look, I like to say, in the COVID era, a lot of schools started live streaming, and I think there's a difference between live streaming and broadcasting, and we do a broadcast.
Yep.
We'll see what the future holds, but it's great that Other games are accessible from other schools, but there's nobody doing it like us in any school in the state. I can prominently say that, and I know that you guys will be in good hands. Again, thanks to guys like Rob Munzing, who really broke all the rules for us, and he still, even a month ago, I asked him for equipment advice. So shout out to Rob Munzing, munzingmedia.com. You can check out. He still does a lot of stuff up at Central Maine.
58-18, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. I'm Zach Tarenko here with Jeff Christianberry, Josh Pulsifer, and Jake Paulette for the final basketball broadcast of the 2023 season here on TATV, and what may be our last winter sports season broadcast on TATV.
Here's a little inside information, and it's my last broadcast, so I'll say it anyway. But so even though before all the games were live streamed for like the Cross Insurance Arena, we used to tape them, and we put them on later. And then there were a couple of years where we choked so hard in the end of the game, for boys especially, I just didn't even put it on the air. Like, there was one game against South Portland, we were up by 4 or 5 with like 40 seconds left, had the ball, and we just ended up losing the game. I remember being so mad, I said something on the broadcast I shouldn't have. Something to the effect of, wow, we deserved that loss, or something like that. Yep. Something that, is not like egregious, but I kept thinking, who's going to want to watch this? Nobody from TA wants to watch this, so we just didn't put it on. So very rarely did that happen, but there were a couple of games. But look, we found out, watching games after the fact, didn't get many views, especially, if it wasn't a playoff game or something. So that's why we've really focused on live streaming, because people want to watch live sports, and it's great that all these games are archived, especially on Facebook and YouTube. So you can go back and watch them. This game's a kind of microcosm of my thing. One of my parting thoughts about Maine high school sports is I just don't support everyone making the playoffs. And during COVID, they did it. I understand why they did it during COVID, and the problem is, of course, in Class AA South, there's only 8 teams, but it's no disrespect to Massabesic, but it's just this game doesn't, it's just not competitive. And we see it in football for many years. Like, we had a few games against Edward Little that were just not competitive, and running time in the first quarter, things like that. They've changed that, so that's my hope parting shot there. It's just, playoffs should be earned, not given. Let's just say that. But credit for Massabesic, they're playing hard. There's nothing, they're just outgunned, outmanned, and it doesn't make Thornton Academy any better to come out here and win by this much. So, I'd be curious to see next round. It should be a big challenge for the Trojans against Bonnie Eagle.
Well, again, thank our sponsors here on TATV. I want to thank Saco Bedford Savings, Paquin and Carroll Insurance, the Webb Family Law Firm, and Top It Mobile Ice Cream Cart. And again, possible boys hockey preliminary matchup in the playoffs in the coming weeks, but we do not know. So for now, we'll call it our final broadcast of the winter sports season on TATV. My final broadcast of the winter sports season, again, with the exception of a possible preliminary.
It's your last one at Linnell, 100%.
Yes, last one at Linnell. And the last one for Jeff Christianberry until the alumni broadcast next year.
We'll have to do it in a time when it's really like a nice warm weekend up here.
Yeah.
So I don't have to come back. Here comes Braden Kamari. I would say these guys are probably done for the day once they come out at this point.
Nick Manning checks on another senior for the Trojans. Got a question for you now, Jeff.
All right.
Real quick. What is the funniest moment to you on air that you've had at TA?
Gosh.
That could be something that Cole or I did or said that was funny, something that you said or did that was funny, something that Mr. Pulsifer said or did that was funny.
Gosh. I remember sometime, I think last year, just laughing so uncontrollably, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Give me a minute to think on that one. If it ever happened, like if there ever was a time, I probably took myself off the air. Like I probably turned my microphone down and went to the next room and laughed. I'm trying to think, because we didn't have anything like any physical comments. Not like anybody's ever fallen or something on the air. I can't think of. There's probably been a couple jokes or something. Maybe I don't know. Let me think. I'll think about that for a minute.
I have something that was pretty funny. Now this is putting myself on a limb here, but I thought it was so funny that I had to say it. So one time before I was
play by Demir.
Great pass from Manning to Huskic. One day before a fall sports broadcast, just Jeff and I. On my way to the game, I got pulled over for speeding. It was not enjoyable. I regret it. I no longer speed. And
let's just say this. You weren't egregiously speeding. It's not like you're going 80 and 35. It was borderline.
It was borderline, but I did get pulled over, and I was late to the broadcast. And when I got there, Jeff gave me a little chuckle, gave me a little.
Because you didn't get a ticket. You just
I didn't get a ticket. Yep.
No.
But on the broadcast, you made a reference to something when I talked about the Webb Family Law Firm, and you said, "Oh, Zach, you may have to be calling the Webb Family Law Firm for what just happened."
Something like that.
And I had no idea what to say except laugh.
The look in your face was just like, "What are you saying?" But no, I didn't totally put you on blast there. But
now everybody knows.
It was just really funny when you talked to the Webb Family Law Firm. Like, well, we know somebody who might want that. So yeah, those are some funny moments. We probably had some more funny moments off the air. Before or after a broadcast, definitely trying to set up some of the jokes that we have. But no, it's been really fun these last couple of years.
You want to know another good one? I remember my first year. It was yourself, Cal, Mr. Pulsifer, and I were there. I was doing stats for the game. This is my freshman year, and it was either around the time that a Star Wars movie was coming out.
Yes, this is it. This is the one. This is the one.
It was either around the time a Star Wars movie was coming out, or I don't remember what it was. But
Mr. P remembers. He's going to write it down.
He remembers,
for us. 68-19, by the way, 100 minutes to go here in the third.
But
go up. Oh, I was going to throw that down.
Marcus with the lay-in and a timeout called. But he even has the references.
Oh, my gosh.
So Cal and Jeff went into a game of how many times they could
subtly
fluidly subtly mention Star Wars references. Here's the ones that he.
And I'll say this: I think it was a blowout game, whatever it was.
Yes,
so it wasn't that
We had that ball hit the outer rim. They were fighting over that ball like Baby Yoda. Okay, so this was like
Mandalorian.
This is Mandalorian. Yeah. Coach Marston should have shut out Blurg on that one. Coach Marston said, "This is the way out of the break."
The way. It's all coming back to me now.
Talon said, "I have spoken." Oh, this is a girls' game.
Girls basketball.
Sarah Talon. Yeah. They kicked it into light speed.
Easy.
I'd say they've kicked it into warp drive. TA is playing like they're racing through the Kessel Run. And,
that was mine.
And this one is a good one. It's like there's a deflector shield on the rim. I can't even get it out of my mouth. Oh, my God. Hold on. I got to get it out. It's like there's a deflector shield on the rim at times for the Trojans. Oh, my goodness.
And at some point, it was like, there was one, I think when I just said warp speed, everyone's like, okay, we jumped the shark. Like, we got like 14 of them in there. And I remember that was
a fantastic.
I remember I think I was maybe doing that too. The computer. I was like Googling like, what are Star Wars references I could probably get in there, but no one ever mentioned if they recognized it on the broadcast. But yeah, good times here. Some of these blowouts. Again, this is one of the examples. I know we're not talking about the game that much, but when you have a 51-point lead, is what it is off the rim.
Off the mark.
Again, Thornton Academy in this quarter only had 4 points through the first couple of minutes, but they've really exploded here for another 10. Almost 20 here in the last few.
70 to 90.
What's their high point total of the year?
90.
Oh, 90.
Which was against Massabesic.
I don't know if they'll get that tonight. That might be tough.
Massabesic has given up 90 or more points 3 times this year. 90 points once, 96 points, and 102 points.
So a quick story on that, and this isn't really to do with my tatv broadcasting, but the most impressive performance I ever saw. There's two really impressive performances when I was a student here. When I was a student here, Deering came in my sophomore year, and that was like the best high school basketball team ever that never won a state championship. They had 3 Division I athletes. They had Walter Phillips, they had Jamal Katarina, and Nick Kaner-Medley, who went to Maryland on a full scholarship, played there and played in Europe for many years. And they came in here, and they just dominated us. Our team was pretty good. I think they won something like 97-30, and we were a good playoff team. Most individual, and they were like dunking all over the place. It was a different game. Most impressive performance I ever saw on this court was 2009-10. Keegan Highland from South Portland, who went to Gonzaga for a little bit, came in here, dropped 47 points.
Wow.
And I knew, he was a star athlete at that point, but he just came in here. We had a really good team, and I think we lost the game by like 3 or 4. It was a close game. He drops 47. Absolutely unbelievable performance there by Keegan Highland. Didn't end up going to have the best college career, but great player for South Portland. So shout out to him.
We got one of our last photos here of Jeff. Here we go, drum roll. Here you go, Jeff.
There we go. I'm really almost mad at myself that we didn't do this before.
Yes.
Doing an alumni broadcast. Look, we got Jake Paulette, who I don't think he's shaved or had a haircut since then, about a month ago. Cal Cristoforo, who will be heading off, graduating Syracuse and heading off into the professional broadcasting world. We got Josh Stack there. Jack Webb, who's a senior at UMaine. And, of course, me and Tyler Catterat, who works at the Burgess Agency as well. Tyler Catterat, I got to give him a special shout out. He was the OG. When I came on here, he wanted to be a weatherman. We had the full TV station here at tatv at that time. We were the public access station in Saco, and he was just kind of my go-to guy. We came in, Josh and I came in the middle of the school year in about November, neither of us having any coaching or teaching experience at all, and guys like Tyler made it very easy for us to kind of get acclimated. Tyler was in TV for a while, and now is again in marketing. So it's great to have him come back. And kind of when he graduated, it's like set the tone. Like, this is the type of kid that I wish, you don't get all the time. And we've had Kyle, really, I'll point out Cal and I'll point out you as well. As just guys that I can ask to do anything, and I just know you're going to do it as best you can. And so that's been the best part is, we give kids chances to be on TV here. And we've been super lucky. I don't think we've ever had somebody that's gone on the air and just been really bad. You know what I mean? Like, we've been fortunate to have really talented kids who put in a lot of work. So, and certainly Zach has lived up to the billing. And when kids come to you their freshman year and say, I want to be involved, you never know how long they're going to stick with it. But, kudos to you for learning. And look, Cole's the same way. You guys have learned sports that you didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
And now you can broadcast them in the college level. So that's going to be really cool for you guys. 70-22, 7:17 to go in the game.
Last question I got for you, Jeff, here is, and this one's going to be a tough one, all right? And I hope Cole and Troy are listening because this is a big one right here. You ready?
Yeah.
Who is the funniest? Zach, Cole, Troy, Josh, and I'll even add Mr. Morrison because we see Mr. Morrison a lot.
Funniest, like just person in general?
Yes.
Ooh.
Shout out Mr. Morrison, who's out there.
I would say, Mr. Morrison's up there because he has such dry humor.
Yes.
And everybody who had the older Mr. Morrison as a teacher, they're like father, like son. I would say the funniest is Josh. I think he's got some because look, him and I have the same kind of humor. Like, we know Family Guy, we know Seinfeld, and so or like Star Wars. So sometimes like something we'll see here on TV, and he'll look up and he'll say something, and I'm like, we were thinking the same thing, and just and I think together, when all four of us are together for independent study, sometimes that's some really fun times. So that's what makes it fun. I mean, that's doing this job. This is a lot of nights and weekends doing this live streaming, and it doesn't feel like work a lot of times when you have a lot of fun guys. And yes, some of the spring and fall sports, I got to say, when it's a 7 o'clock game and it's 43 degrees outside and raining, the last thing I want to do is go broadcast a sporting event. But the players are out there, the coaches are out there, parents are at home, grandparents at home want to see, so we put in the effort, and the kids show up as well. So it's been a lot of fun times and some funny times. That's the thing I'm going to miss the most, is definitely, as much as broadcasting's fun, just the setup and the takedown and all this times in between. So if anybody's interested in getting involved, of course, we can always take volunteers.
Survey said, the correct answer was Zach Taranko. But
not biased at all.
I'll give you
a freebie
on that one.
Give a freebie on that
I
one.
do think Miss Pulsar it is very, very funny. I as someone who grew up with parents who are very dry humor, I think it works well because I think, as you're right, I think Mr. Pulsar and Mr. Morrison both have very funny dry humor.
Absolutely. Keep it light during Block 2.
Yeah. Get later into this game here, 72-22, 6:02 to go. Thorne Academy is well on their way here to go play Bonnie Eagle on Thursday in the Class AA South semifinals. Is a
foul on Massabesic.
Massabesic could have been
50-50 call. Yep.
Could have been an offensive foul, but Nick Manning will go to line and shoot 2.
So I mentioned earlier that Mac Lowe I thought was the kind of key player, I should say, and a lot of key players. Who do you think the key player is for the Golden Trojan boys team to make a deep run in the playoffs?
This is something that you may, some people may be shocked by. I actually think it's Alicio Marcus.
Okay.
I think Marcus has had an up-and-down season similar to last year. I mean, he's a great player. He's a great rebounder. He's also a good shooter. But what you're going to see here as we get into the playoffs is that you're going to see guys like Kamari and Benoit and Davies be very solid in the backcourt. They're going to shoot the ball well. They're going to move the ball well. You're going to need guys in the paint, and that's going to be guys like Eldred and Marcus. I think if Marcus can have a really strong playoff run, he can has a good game versus Bonnie Eagle, a good game versus South Portland, and can play well in the States. I think he has a very, very good chance of winning a state championship. I think he's a fantastic defensive player, and he knows how to play in the Cross Insurance Arena. It's a different. It's literally a different court.
Totally
shape.
Different game. Different coach shape, and you got the big space behind the baskets. We always talk about that, but it's real.
And he played last year, and he played defense on J.P. Estrella. He knows what it's going to take to win a playoff series against strong players.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think Marcus is the difference maker, and I think he'll step up to the plate in his senior year.
Yeah, I mean, look, Will's gonna have to have a good games, and there's a lot of guys that are gonna. Braden's gonna have to shoot well, but it's those core supporting cast that's gonna be important here. Here comes Marcus. Will he throw it down? Will he throw it down? Yes, he will. With a flush. Alicio Marcus puts the exclamation point on this victory here for the Golden Trojans.
Nice dunk there from Alicio Marcus.
Gotta love it. That's what the fans came to see tonight. A couple big win and a couple dunks. Two-handed too, old school. I like seeing that old school two-handed dunk. Got to give a shout out to Zach Nelson out on the floor for the Golden Trojans.
Getting some time. He was on JV this year, but as we get into the playoffs, Coach Davies pulling up as many players as he can to sit the games no matter if they play or not.
I think we're going to see, who haven't we seen? We haven't seen two guys from the bench. One of them's coming in now.
It's Rayon Carty, and we
Harry
still
Lou.
have
We
not
haven't
seen
seen
Harry
Harry
Lou.
Lou. He'll get in there. He'll get in
we'll
there.
see it. Guess now over to Manning. Manning switching it over to Zach Nelson. That ball's thrown away.
Getting in the 6th row up here.
Mistake you can't make in the cross, but you can make it here when you're up 57 points.
It's gonna be interesting to see it's gonna be different, a little bit of different hype around the games this year with no JP Estrella and of course no I want to say Keegan Highland, but McComas.
Cooper Flagg.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I just forgot about him. He's had a great year down at Mount Verde and was named the USA Basketball Player of the Year. It's crazy.
Last photo of the game, Jeff, with the drum roll.
Okay,
here we go.
And there's the alumni too. So that was a good comment. Before we didn't have all the crew in there. Of course, we're adding Cole, Zach, and Troy in there. So this is your main crew over the last 10 or 12 years of our live streaming, and all of them played different roles or different types of games. All the guys are doing well in life, and that's really what's important. As I know Cal's going to go on a great career in broadcasting, and even if nobody else does in that picture, all you guys are going to leave with positive social skills, and it's been an honor to be small part in all of your lives. And some of these people I had as students, excuse me, some as just broadcaster or tatv, some as a combination. But boy, handsome group, I got to say that. Hopefully, shout out to Jack Webb. Hopefully, gets that knee, better as quick as possible. But to everybody, we're going to wrap it up pretty quick after the game. But just one last thank you to everybody that's been involved. I'm certainly going to be back visiting the area and be on broadcast. I'll be in the. You can find me in chat and be on the alumni broadcast. But it's been an absolute pleasure. It's great that TA gets a win in my last game. I know that you guys are going to do an unbelievable job here in the springtime. Excuse me, for both great play there with the and one with lacrosse. So this will be kind of my last thank you before we just get back to the game, but appreciate all the thoughts, and keep in touch. Find me on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course we'll see you next week at the Cross Insurance Arena for a quick Trojan Talk live feed as well. This will be our last broadcast, so good luck guys in the future, and appreciate all the love. It's been a fun broadcast, gotta say. It's like this is your life.
Manning gets the extra one to go. So Jeff thought he had the last thank you. I'm going to have mine for Jeff here in a minute.
By the way, if there's any tech issues in the future, it's josh.pulsifer@.org. Don't talk to me anymore about it. I'll be like, yeah, I know, I saw it too. I can't change the internet. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. We were talking before the game, Zach, and you weren't part of some of this. Our early years, boy, these broadcasts were stressful because we used to have all sorts of tech issues, and Jake probably can remember some of these. Like, the camera guys are great because they just keep filming. Like, whatever happens, they just keep going. We're losing and the broadcaster's just supposed to talk. And how many times you have to be like, no, we're off the air, don't speak. Like, and again, another thank you to Ben Nassi. That's one of the guys I forgot. He's helped us out a lot, getting the internet nice and solid down over here, both at the stadium and the gym. So, we do have a little hiccups tonight, which is very ironic because we've had like no hiccups all year. And tonight we had a few internet hiccups, but the infrastructure here is a lot better than it used to be. But yeah, it used to be super stressful. These things and the gym used to be so hot in here in these games. So we've come a long way.
And while we're here, I want to give a shout out to Josh Pulsifer, who will be taking over as our lead general manager of TATV. He'll be with us with Cole and I and Troy in the spring season for boys and girls lacrosse, which will be a lot of fun.
Another good steal and layups.
Man, he's got 5 points now.
That was a Stan Ruff reference, by the way. Got to give a shout out to him. Even Alicio's pointing to Harry Lou over here on the bench. He wants to get Harry Lou sometime. 62-point lead.
Big lead for the Trojans.
And again, Massabesic, tip of the cap to them. They have not stopped playing hard the whole game. They got some young guys, and they'll be better next year, get a few wins, I'm sure of it.
Well, with 2.5 minutes to go, I think it's just about time I get my thank you out here to Jeff. So when I started my freshman year here at TA, I had the dream of being a sports broadcaster
That applause is not for me. It's for Harry Lou. But
yes,
keep going. Keep going.
I had the dream of being a sports broadcaster, but really had never really put pen to paper, had never really done anything. And if it wasn't for what you did for me, Jeff, and what you did for me, Josh, I cannot forget you, Josh. All the help you gave me, all the hours you put in to do games, all the time that you took to teach me the tech and how it worked. And I would not be here. I would not be working for the Mariners. I would not be getting these opportunities with WHOU. I wouldn't be going to going to a great college to pursue my dreams. And I really have to thank both of you and specifically you, Jeff, because I've spent so much time with you in school with independent studies and classes, and it's just been a really awesome 3 years and 3.5 or 3 point whatever. How many years I've been here at Thorne Academy with you?
Call it 4.
Yeah, just call it 4. But dude, I told myself I wasn't gonna get choked up. Jeez, dude, it's been such a great year and such a great time here at Thorne Academy, and I'm never going to forget what you did for me. And
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I really appreciate all that you did and all that you did for everybody else here, as Troy and Cole and Jake and Cal and Jack and Tyler. It's been so awesome for so many years, and it's not going to be the same without you. It's going to be tough to only see you in the comments, but we'll have you back for the alumni broadcast, and at that time
I'll be an
alumni too. So
no, it's great. I appreciate the words, and it's again, it just been a great experience, all of us, all the way through. And look, it's kind of interesting. Like, we were going to have this type of broadcast eventually, but we thought it was going to be at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
We would always going to do these kind of shout-outs. And I know Mr. Pulsifer will have something special for you and Cole, especially you at the end of the our lacrosse season. But I appreciate the words. It's been a great 12 years here. I'll be heading down a week from tomorrow, down to sunny Florida. And until then, we'll be cheering on the Golden Trojans next Wednesday and Thursday, boys and girls, in the Cross Insurance Arena, hopefully enter the state championship. I know that was some good coverage. So 25 seconds left. Nothing much else to say.
Yeah.
Big win for the Trojans.
Moving on to play Bonnie Eagle on Thursday, 8:45 at the Cross Insurance Arena. All are welcome to go watch that game. But if you want to watch it on WHOU, you can watch some fantastic broadcasters. Cole and I will not be doing those games, but we know that they're going to be done well on WHOU.
And let me ask you this, Zach. It's not so much TATV, but if you could broadcast one sporting event in the entire world, what would it be, and why?
Wow.
Drop you in tomorrow to any, and it could be something that you would just be passionate about. Like, you could say Stanley Cup Finals or whatever. Something that you'd really just love.
That is so tough. I would want to do the. Wow, you caught me there. I want to do Winter Classic.
Winter Classic, yeah.
And the reason, obviously, hockey is my passion. It's my favorite sport to broadcast. It's what I think I'm the best sport I'm at when it comes to broadcasting. But the Winter Classic is such a special event, and it's something that I've heard and seen from the people that get to be a part of it, whether that be reporting on the sidelines or doing the broadcasting. That it is such a special event, and so that's what I would want to do.
Well, I can see it happening someday. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You'll be off to college. Just work hard. That's my parting thoughts, not only for you but everybody involved in this. Just keep working hard. Grind it out. This day and age with podcasting and equipment that's not that expensive, you can keep doing it on the side. Keep grinding. Keep hustling. For you and Cole and Troy, you guys are the sky's the limit for you guys. So just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll just do the sign off here. So for all of us here at TATV, for Jake Paulette, Josh Pulsifer, and Zach Tarenko, I'm Jeff Christianberry. For the last time, signing off from Linnell Gymnasium. Final score: Thorne Academy 86, Massabesic 25. For all of us here, and for me, one more time, see you later, everybody.